everyone. Good morning. Welcome to our Workforce Wednesday series. We have another board member with us, Miss Claudia.
Hello, thanks for having me here.
Thank you for coming. And we know you are very busy, so we're going to try to keep this brief. But we would love to get some insight from you about your education experience, a little bit about your background, and how you found yourself at in the position that you are currently as a compliance officer and working in the financial industry.
Yes, so my background has been in finance not straight out of high school, but maybe a year after I graduated high school. My original major was accounting, so I went to Angelina College here in Lufkin. And when I went, I was like, maybe I need to do something else. So I actually dropped out of college for about a year. And then after a while, I was like, you know what? I think I have to go back and do something with my life. So I decided to roll back and I continued with the accounting aspect. And then once I transferred to SFA, I was working full time at a bank here locally. So trying to manage working at the bank, going to school part time, and also having a child. It's like, oh, I don't know if I can do the accounting anymore. So I remember I went to my advisor and I was like, I just want to switch to general business. She said, no. I was like, okay. She's like, I want you to find a good job whenever you leave here. And I've come to find out that students that graduate with a general business have a bit of a hard time finding a job. So if you're going to switch, I suggest you switch to finance, which the classes were already some of the same classes with the accounting degree. So I switched over to finance and I liked it. It was challenging for sure. I graduated from SFA in 2018, and at the time, while I was going to SFA, I was still working at the bank. And my long-term goal was to stay there and climb up the corporate ladder there. But then as soon as I graduated, the opportunity came open to where I could work where I am now at 11 Financial, and I've been there ever since. So, learning as I went, I had a great mentor. He's the CEO, the founder of the company, and he taught me all the ropes and everything that I know and pushed me way out of my comfort zone. I absolutely hated it whenever he did that, but it has truly developed me into who I am today and just learning to do things scared, going into the unknown, doing it scared, and taking those challenges and learning from them rather than, when you're presented with a challenge, do you just walk away from it just because you don't know? Or do you take a jab at it and then like, okay, well, that actually wasn't too bad. So I'm thankful that, he pushed me to that, and thankful that it's gotten me to where I am today and with all the different things that I've learned along the way. So yeah, and as you said, I oversee the compliance, which I never in a million years thought I would be in that role. So I handle all the regulators. So the financial services industry is heavily regulated. So just managing the day-to-day operations in the firm, making sure all of our advisors are, doing whatever the regulators want us to do. And whenever we have audits, which are pretty common in our world, making sure that the auditors have what they need and making sure that everything's running smoothly. So, yeah.
Well, perfect. That's a perfect layout of the history. I thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
And it sounds quite involved. So you started with the finance degree.
Yes.
Or was accounting degree is where you started.
Yes.
You said you kind of stepped back for a moment, had to reevaluate, which is common, especially as we're, addressing our youth with this series. We want them to understand that, hey, just because you pursue something and need to take a step back, that doesn't mean you stop. Like you said, if it's challenging, that's okay. Push on through it and learn.
Yes.
Find an advisor, find a mentor, find somebody that can pour into you and kind of direct you in some kind of, with some kind of magnitude. And it's extremely beneficial. So how difficult was it trying to get back into school after, that separation for a year?
It was hard because while I took that break, it's when I had my baby. So I was 19, a single mom, and that was kind of an awakening for me. Like, okay, what am I going to do to move me and my son forward? And that was my number one answer. I have to go to school and get a degree, and then figure out from there.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to balance that was really, really hard, because it's not just going to. So I went to work. I was working 40 hours a week, and I also had to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to do online as much as I could, but then it got to a point where I had to go to physical classes. So those evening classes, and also spending time studying, doing homework. So it was very time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
And, I had a little baby, but thankfully I had a great support system. My family helped me there. Um, so, and I was just talking about this to my friend yesterday because we were at SFA yesterday. And I was like, I remember crying and just being so stressed out. How, like, I'm never going to finish. This is so hard. And I'm taking time away from my son. And it was so challenging, so challenging. But I'm thankful for that experience.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard, but navigating that, whenever you go through challenges, whenever you're going through them, you have those emotions, and thinking, I'm never going to get out of this. But hindsight, it's okay,
Mm-hmm.
I came out of that and I came out better than that. And it teaches you a lot of things: resilience, just working through those things, those challenges definitely helped me. Again, shaped who I am today. Um, Truly hard work and dedication. And it wasn't just for me, it was for us
Mm-hmm.
and also my future. So, and just, you mentioned having a mentor, and I truly think that's really important. Just as a first generation college student, first generation Mexican American here in the United States, I was navigating everything on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So now I try to pour into other people that, they similar shoes to where I was at. But if I see the opportunity that I can give them a little insight as to, hey, you really should look into this, or there's some other resources. Legacy and all the different things that you guys do is such a great resource for our community and for the younger youth. And I truly think you guys are doing amazing there. And I truly hope that the youth takes advantage of that, because what you guys do is phenomenal and so great for our community. And yeah, so.
So thank you. I certainly appreciate you sharing that with us, and we do our best over here at Legacy Institute. We are trying our best to empower individuals financially. And speaking of going back to your career and what you're doing over there with 11 Financial, you all talk about wealth building,
Yes.
wealth management, financial empowerment for individuals. How would young people? Um, what's the best path for young people to start to either start themselves in a career in wealth management, and is a degree necessary to get into wealth management?
I think a degree definitely prepares you into what the industry will be like.
Mm-hmm.
I know eventually you have to take an exam. There's different licenses that you can um, receive in the financial services. So just depending on the kind of field that you want to go into, I think definitely a degree would help. But I think prior to deciding what degree or what particular field, I think internships
Mm-hmm.
would definitely help. Doing some research, reaching out to individuals that are in that particular industry, hearing more about it, and the good, the bad, and the ugly, and just, do I really want to go into that industry, or is there another avenue that I could take, or
Mm-hmm.
just give me all the insight that I need to know. And again, finding that mentor,
Mm-hmm.
reaching out to someone that that's in that field, and asking all those questions, not going into it blindly, but having that guidance and that mentor truly will be beneficial. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay, perfect. So make sure you have a mentor.
Yes.
Young people, if you're wanting to get into the financial services, one, education is important. So, one, go make sure Angelina College is a great place to start. I
Yes.
started at Angelina College.
I
Claudia
did.
started at
Yes.
Angelina College, and we've had so many other board members start there as well as community members start there. So it's a great place to start. And if you want to pivot to SFA, go Jacks. You can pivot to SFA and continue your career there. They have a wonderful program now called the what is SFA's? I believe there's a program where they will accept individuals in Angelina College for
Yes.
free. So
Yes.
you can go get your degree in finance, accounting, general business, and
Mhm.
get prepared for a career in the financial services industry. Make sure you find an advisor. Make sure you find a mentor. Make
Mhm.
sure you get connected to these companies. Try to, talk to them, see if they'd be willing. If they don't have internships, maybe they'll create one because you showed up with an
Mhm.
interest. So that's something I'm going to plug to Kovar and
Yeah.
see if there's anyone, if there's any young people that's interested, and Miss Claudia is willing to show
Yes.
them the compliance side or show them the financial service side, how to deal with clients. I believe she would be open and willing, but I don't
Yes.
want to speak for
No,
11
yes,
Financial.
absolutely. Yes. I
But
love pouring back and learning and or teaching other people. Yes, for sure.
absolutely, and we appreciate that. And I will say that I'm looking forward to seeing more youth participate in wealth management for themselves and their families. We are a partner of List National,
Mhm.
and one arm that they have is wealth, income and wealth management. And one of our goals in our Financial Opportunity Center is to get more individuals opening up those either mutual funds or investment
Yes.
accounts, funding it with $20, $25
Yes.
here or there. It's not a lot,
Mhm.
but it's enough to get you started. And when you're young and
Yes.
you don't have a lot of debt, a lot of obligations, it's a good
Mhm.
way to not waste those funds, but set yourself up for the future.
Absolutely, yes. I've had several people, even just in my family, my nieces, my nephews. I've maybe forced them a little bit, but I said, open an account, open an investment account, open a retirement account. Just start with $5. $5 every paycheck. And it's been a couple of years, and I'm like, you have several $1,000s in here,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't want to start, but now look at this. So that really makes me so proud and so happy for them that, I'm able to teach them something and set them up, even if it's just, a lot of the times people think, oh, I need hundreds and thousands of dollars to start investing. You don't.
Mm-hmm.
Just start with $5 every paycheck or
That's right.
whatever you can do. And as you increase your salary, your hourly, whatever you get paid, then maybe bump it up to 10, 15. So you don't need
Absolutely.
an amount so large. You can start with literally $5, even $1. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
The saving habit,
Yes.
investing habit, it is a habit that has to be, it's a
Yes.
muscle that has to be worked and
Mm-hmm.
trained. And as you increase your income, if you have not developed that habit, that income will just kind of disappear.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe it's a great reminder to the community, especially our young people. I'm sure they can scrape up $5 in a
Yeah.
couch somewhere if they wanted to, if they really looked for it.
Instead of
So
that coffee.
yes, and like yes, that's
Yes.
absolutely right.
Yes.
I've learned to make my coffee at home. My husband
Mm-hmm.
has been extremely supportive of me getting away from coffee
Yeah.
shops. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
So, absolutely great advice. I
Mm-hmm.
really appreciate you sharing that with us and with our youth. Um, if you could give them one piece of advice as we close out this series today, what would you give them?
Do it scared. I think that is just, again, not going into challenges and going into the unknown. Fear is probably fear and anxiety. I know for myself, and I know with other people that I've talked to, that's probably one of the biggest setbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just doing it scared and not being afraid to ask or
Mm-hmm.
to reach out to people. That is definitely scary. Even now, just me doing this,
Mm-hmm.
I did not want to do this just because I just speaking and talking about myself is gets me a little bit out of my comfort zone, but doing it scared, you definitely grow a lot from that. So I think that's my biggest advice is do it scared, ask the questions, and you'll set yourself up, by doing it scared. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. And if you all have other pieces of advice that you'd like to share with our youth, please drop it down in the comments. We would love to hear your input and share it with our youth. One piece of advice, anything that's helped you in the past with Miss Claudia, she's made sure to let us know that we need to do it scared. And I agree with you. One thing about me, this is not my purview, but I'm enjoying learning from
Yeah.
different people in the community that's in these different industries and hearing how you all entered into the space, and it's wonderful. And I believe more young people, if they're not open to asking, at least we have a platform for them to get familiar with you,
Yes.
learn your name, learn your company, learn who's in the community with them, and hopefully they'll end up at your
Mm-hmm.
doorstep and they'll ask even though they're scared.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you
Yes.
for your time with us. Thank you for serving as a board member. We really appreciate you.
No, yes, for sure. It's an honor. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. And have a great one.